Welcome into Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. I am Tom Downey, here to react to a wild win that featured some very troubling injury news on TJ Watt in particular, also Najee Harris. On the bright side, it's a W for your Pittsburgh Steelers. They take down the Bengals in a thriller, 23-20, that multiple times I thought one of those teams had won it normally. There were missed kicks, missed field goals, blocked extra points, questionable officiating, turnovers galore from the Bengals offense. Bonkers is the word I would use to describe this game as the Steelers gut out a 23-20 win, which I think is fairly classic Mike Tomlin. That's the good news. Pittsburgh won. This, my friends, might be a Pyrrhic victory. If you don't know what that is, like producer Patrick did, allow me to explain. That is a victory in which you win the battle, but by doing so in the process of, you actually lose the war. And the injuries coming out of this game might end up being significantly troubling for the Steelers this year. Let's begin with TJ Watt, the biggest and most concerning of all. The fear from the Steelers organization is that he suffered a torn pectoral, which was the fear when he's walking the side and you can see him mouthing, "I tore my pec, I tore my pec." That's the concern for TJ Watt. He's going to get some tests done on Monday to confirm that diagnosis. A very real possibility his season might be over sooner, and hopefully he comes back late, but that's the likelihood is a torn pec, and that would be about as brutal as it comes. On offense, another huge injury. Najee Harris leaves the game late with a foot injury late in that fourth quarter that gave the Bengals a chance to go tie it because he got hurt. Pittsburgh had to burn a timeout to get the injury change out there. He limped off the field, was ruled out as a foot injury, the same foot he had that was Frank problem on earlier in camp in the preseason. We will monitor on that one. Troubling concerns on that front. Levi Wallace also left the game today with an ankle injury against the Bengals. Don't have full details right now on that. Hopefully not as bad as Watt or as concerning as I am right now on Najee Harris. I'll try to give you guys some good injury news, too, as Cam Hayward also banged up along with Marvin Leal in that game. Mason Cole did leave the game but returned with an ankle injury, so at least the center spot's okay. So a lot of injuries coming out of Week 1. We'll keep you covered on TJ Watt, some replacements, Najee Harris as well throughout this week and beyond. But I want you guys to grade the Steelers for me in Week 1. A, B, C, D, or F. It's a win. There were some buts involved, though, across the board, but it is a win over the team that made it to the Super Bowl last year in the AFC. So I make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in A, B, C, D, or F. Let's talk some takeaways here. Number one, the Steelers' defense is fantastic. They are great. They carried Pittsburgh to a win today. Among the interceptions, there was a Minkah Fitzpatrick 31-yard pick six. Cam Sutton had an INT. TJ Watt, before he got hurt, had an INT. Ahkello Witherspoon, before he kind of struggled late with some not great coverage and a PI, he had an INT in that game. But the game ball, to me, unquestionably, goes to Minkah Fitzpatrick. 14 tackles, was constantly around the football, had an INT. He got a terrible penalty that allowed the Bengals another chance. He blocks what would have been the game-winning extra point. He had another big pass breakup on delivering a hit that doesn't count as a pass breakup, but it was a splash play. The pick six, Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think of all the defensive players this week across the NFL, he's got to be in there for the best performance overall. Joe Burrow and the Steelers defense, he did not look like Joe Burrow, the guy we saw dominate last year. Now, he made some nice plays down the stretch. The backup long snapper kind of killed things a few times for the Bengals, but still, he had 5 turnovers. You take the football away 5 different times, 4 interceptions and a forced fumble, which you recovered, and kind of had another forced fumble. It took him out of field goal range and a punt late in the game, too. Doesn't count as a takeaway, but you couldn't advance it. Kept him out of field goal range. The Steelers' defense was awesome in this matchup. You can also throw in, by the way, a grand total of 7 sacks. It's just absurd how good the Steelers' defense was in this game. We'll talk about the pass rush in particular later on, but today's show is made possible by BetUS. I had the Steelers covering, but not winning. So if you faded me on that front, you won some money. The line was Bengals minus 6.5. And the Steelers came far and away, easily covered that one right there, plus the upset on the road. The under hit, by the way, 44.5. We got 43. Took overtime to get there, but we did hit the under regardless in the end. Hopefully you bet on the Steelers. You can do it all year long with BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is Steelers125. All right, takeaway number 2. The offense is still an issue. If you take the ball away 5 times and you commit 0 turnovers, you should win by more than a multiple bonkers drunk off its butt game in overtime very, very late. The Steelers' offense was profoundly underwhelming. 267 total yards. Remember, he had 7 off the INT. 192 passing yards, 75 on the ground. Chase Claypool was your leading rusher because you couldn't run the football normally. You were 4 of 15 on third downs. And at least not a lot of those yards, but you benefited by a 45-yard drive and a 43-yard drive in overtime. Plus, I guess you can add the 7 yards there. You had 95 yards of offense. I'm doing quick math here, so let me double check, make sure that's right, confirmed it is. You had 95 yards in overtime of your 267. Your final drives were end of half, punt, field goal, punt, end of half, punt, TD. Like, you did not move the football at all well in that game. You got to figure out the offense better, or you're not going to win games. You can't count your defense to the football away 5 times, especially with TJ Watt now going to miss some time. So rate the Week 1 offensive performance for me. From 1 to 100. 1 on the low end, 100 on the high end. You won the game. I'll give Trubisky credit for getting them into field goal range late to secure it, but you needed more out of the offense as far as I'm concerned. So sound off for me in the comment section. The pass rush is still awesome. Now, make no mistake, losing TJ Watt is a significant red flag after he got hurt in that game. How about Alex Highsmith? I told you guys he was going to have a breakout year. That's a breakout game. 9 tackles, 2 TFLs, 3 different sacks, 4 quarterback hits. You hit Joe Burrow 11 times. Alex Highsmith led your way there. Cam Hayward had a sack and 3 tackles lost again. Hopefully he's okay. Arthur Mount had a sack on a corner blitz. Robert Spillane had one. You were very dominant up front. You harassed Joe Burrow repeatedly. It's a big reason why the Steelers got the dub in this one. Now, we'll be back again tomorrow with some more Steelers reaction to hopefully good news on TJ Watt, hopefully good news on Najee Harris. Not sure we're going to get that. We have daily videos for you guys, though. So hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/SteelersTV. We did not quite get to the 17K mark, but I bet we can do it on this video. Hit that subscribe button right now. All right, number 4, Mitchell Trubisky is the quarterback for now. It's a matter. Look, I'm waffling. I was unimpressed by Trubisky. They did win the football game. That'll give him credit. He averaged 5.1 yards per attempt, and the stat line before overtime looked even worse. You still complete just 55% of your passes, 1 touchdown, 3 or 9 yards on the ground. I didn't love what I saw from Trubisky. I think the play calling certainly gets a large amount of the quote-unquote blame there as well, but I need more out of Trubisky when you don't have 5 takeaways. So it's fine for now. He's going to start again next week. I think he should start. I mean, you won the game, right? How can you bench the quarterback who won the game when he just started going in? Like, that just makes sense to me. But I got to see better growth from Trubisky in week 2, or it's not going to give me immense confidence in him moving forward. It's fine to keep him out there, but I was unimpressed. So what do you think? Do you want to start Trubisky in week 2? Type in MT for Mitchell Trubisky and for yes, or type in KP for no. You want to see some Kenny Pickett. All right, let's wrap up here. Number 5, I just hope everyone's okay. And we mentioned all those injuries early on. Cam Hayward, DeMarvin Leal, TJ Watt, I don't think, unfortunately, is going to be okay. Najee Harris, I hope he's okay, because Jaylen Warren's season, all of a sudden, is not something that I'm in love with. 3 carries, 7 yards on that front there. But you ran the ball 22 times. You had 75 yards on the ground. And you had 36 of those come from Chase Claypool. I hope Najee Harris is okay. The offensive line's got to get better. I'm just crossing my fingers on injuries because Mike Tomlin finds ways to keep winning games that maybe his team shouldn't win. That's a credit to the coaching staff right there. But those injuries, if they remain severe, that's a big-time red flag. All right, that is it for us today. Remember to make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube. Hit that big red button, youtube.com/Steelers Talk, for more free videos all season, off-season, preseason, you name it. We're year-round. Subscribe right now.